As I was saying, we all witnessed the farce that went on at the committee stages and indeed in the chamber. Ordinary women were denied the same access to the committee as gender identity ideologues. And those few women who were granted an audience were met with some ludicrous comments and questions from certain members of the committee. Or perhaps that's anecdotal. What was particularly galling was the rejection of a group of female survivors of male violence who were cruelly dismissed by the convener, Joe Fitzpatrick, when they offered to meet with the committee members and present their evidence on the importance of single-sex spaces for those women left living with trauma and its impact on their day-to-day lives. We witnessed Christine McKelvey lead a standing ovation in the chamber following the passing of the bill. The clapping seals were quickly got on board, and who could forget Alex Hamilton's not-so-finest moment, where he professed at a gender ideologue's rally, "We did it for Beth." I suppose at least he didn't pose underneath a placard which called for the decapitation of TERFs, unlike some of the SNP parliamentarians, who we can only conclude were mysteriously struck, all at the same time, with a rare and unusual case of visual impairment. Or maybe they were telling porkies and didn't care they were promoting violence against women until they were photographed under the offending placard. Who knows? And a wee message to wee Willie Rennie, who this week tried to distance himself from his position on self-ID. We see you. You voted for this abomination of a bill, and we won't forget, no matter how much you try to distance yourself from the support of your bill, we will remember. Following the horrific court hearing this week, where Andrew Miller, Amy George, pled guilty to the kidnapping, imprisonment and abuse of a child, the Deputy First Minister, Shona Robson, was at pains to tell us not to punish a community for the actions of individuals, while completely ignoring the trauma of a child and the pain and distress her family must be going through. Shame. The same Deputy First Minister who only months ago told us there is no evidence that predatory and abusive men have ever had to pretend to be anything else to carry out predatory and abusive behaviour. Yet last week she tells us in response to Andrew Miller's guilty plea, clearly this is a predatory man who's carried out offending behaviour and should be treated as such. So my question is, which is it? Self-ID is universal, they tell us, until it isn't. Please make it make sense. Shona Robinson, know this. People aren't blaming any community. We're blaming you and your... We're also blaming your point shoe colleagues who refuse to engage in good faith with genuine concerns. We're blaming you and every other MSP for being too lazy, too stupid, too cowardly, or too arrogant to listen to expert advice. But most of all, we're blaming you for creating a culture where children are confused and safeguarding is dismantled. We are angry at the harm caused by your batshit crazy policies. And when I say you, I mean every MSP who ignorantly and carelessly voted to pass the GRR bill without any safeguards or gatekeeping. You tell us this is progressive. We're saying, no, it isn't. It's downright dangerous, and innocent women and children are being harmed. Thankfully though, women have been organising for a number of years, and thanks to their efforts, when word broke that Adam Graham was being sent to Cortonvale, all hell broke loose, and rightly so. This was the inevitable outcome of your gender woo-woo fundamentalism and dogmatic approach. When Adam Graham's case triggered a significant public backlash, revealing the absolute idiocy and dangers of self-ID, we saw MSPs scuttling about panic-stricken and exposing their idiocy. Because when those same MSPs had the opportunity to vote against those charged with serious violent offences gaining a GRC, they opted to side with the demands of male sex offenders rather than uphold the needs of vulnerable women and children. Absolute shame on you. And, hello? And we will not forget. It's only days ago we were being lectured by Sturgeon in a Guardian article about polarisation in politics. I'm sure I'm not the only one that had to scrape my chin off the floor. The audacity and lack of self-awareness is staggering when she orchestrated and colluded with vilifying women defending our rights. To preach at us about the polarisation in politics, but she has been one of the most divisive First Ministers it's been Scotland's misfortune to have. Reveals a degree of narcissism that should worry us all. And then to top it all off, we saw her accept a rainbow bauble while declaring, "My rights as a woman are not diminished in any way by the enhancement of the rights of trans men and women." Never, never let anyone tell you otherwise. The dripping privilege is nauseating. Tell that to vulnerable women locked up in prison with violent males with no escape. Tell that to female athletes who are losing out to males. Tell that to the women self-excluding from services designed to support female survivors of male violence. Tell that to vulnerable elderly women who are being gaslit by services when they request a same-sex carer. Tell that to the parents of vulnerable disabled girls and women who require same-sex carers. You told us our concerns were not valid. As Elaine Miller would say, "Oh, do you think so?" Some say the Bryson case was the toppling of Nicola Sturgeon. I couldn't possibly comment, other than to say, God bless you, Scottish women. Especially angry Scottish women. So here we are today in the new First Minister's constituency, resolute in our determination to fight this dangerous ideology seeping into our public services and institutions. Because sadly the replacement regime are no better. They have learned nothing from Sturgeon's failings. They foolishly continue to treat women as second-class citizens. But we are here to say, ignore us at your peril. We are many, and we are not going away. When will they learn that we will not stand by idly while children and women are being harmed by our dangerous policies? When will they learn that women won't wheesht? Joanna Cherry was recently deplatformed by the Stand Comedy Club. Why? Because some in Scottish society cannot bear the fact she uses her platform to amplify women's concerns, defend our rights, and highlight the erosion of lesbian spaces. You know that class of women who are same-sex attracted? And according to Stonewall, are akin to sexual racists? Exactly. These individuals would have you believe that women have penises and lesbians are bigots for being same-sex attracted. Yet many tears have been shed by the Be Kind Brigade since the Stand backed down after discovering they were breaking the equality law and risked being successfully sued. These are the paragons of virtue signalling we're supposed to yield to. yet they haven't the first clue about equalities. So we're here today to say loud and clear, take your fake accusations, your lesbophobia, your misogyny, and try harder. Because like Joanna Cherry, we will not submit to your bullying and vilification. So as much as Hello? Okay. So as much as I could stand here for the next hour and a half ranting about the failings of our government, institutions and services in upholding our rights, today is a day for ordinary women. We've created a space for ordinary women to come and speak their truth.